Hello Sangha, welcome to day 27. Day 27. So we've taken our practice from the beaches of Fuerteventura to the inside of a Glasgow tenement. So from the sublime to the sublime. So one of the final four limbs is pratyahara, and pratyahara means to come away from your senses, or come away from this obsession that we have with our senses, with want to taste everything, want to feel everything with our skin, want to smell everything, want to see everything, want to hear everything, but to be more connected to our inner world rather than always connected to our external world. And there's lots of draws in our external world, there's sounds, and like with all the technology we have, and the like phones that want to take our eyes there and give us constant information and constant dopamine hits through them. But really, yoga talks about there being an inner connection and inner focus for our well-being. Okay, so we'll revisit that again at the end. In terms of movement today, we're going to do just some like circling and spiraling. Okay, our bodies. So take one hand and move it. Our bodies are not in straight lines. If you ever have the chance to see how a body's really made up, which I've been very fortunate to do, you see there's lots of spirals and curves, and even in the bones there's lots of spirals and curves. So take one arm and just think about the wrist moving, the fingers moving, the elbow moving, the shoulder moving, and there's almost infinite possibilities with this one limb. And then let that happen with the other arm. So start your wrist moving, start your elbow moving, start your fingers moving, start your shoulder moving. Okay, so just everything there starts to move. And then we can let both arms spiral and move together. And reach out and behind and forward and spiral. Sometimes it's kind of nice to imagine you're holding like a plate and you're trying to keep that plate from falling off your hand, so you can move your hand a little bit like that, moving it around. I mean, if you're kind of fancy Dan, you can actually even put a plate on your hand and try and not let it fall as you move that hand around. And then try it with that hand. So these spiraling movements without dropping something off your hand really gets your body moving, your shoulders moving. So imagine you've got this plate and you're trying to take it around your mat, and you don't want it to fall off your hand. Okay, and then shake off. Roll through your shoulders. Take your hands on your knees and let your body spiral around from the center. And taking it around. Good. So sometimes we get a little bit obsessed in yoga with straight lines, so we don't have to make straight lines that often. It's not really how our body functions. And coming back to the center. And let's take a big spiral over this way. So let one hand rest, the other hand reach up, and just reach over. Maybe turn your palm face up as you reach out. And then try that on the other side. Taking your hand up and over, and palm face up, reaching out. And try that one more time either side. Going up, turn your palm and reaching over. Going up, take your palm and reaching over. Good. Come back to the center, give everything a good shake off, roll through your shoulders. And let's come to lie on our back with your knees bent initially. Okay, moving your knees gently from side to side. And we're going to do the same kind of spiraling movement with our legs that we did with our arms. Okay, so take one foot up into the air and start to make circles with your big toe. So moving that into your ankle, let it spread down to your knee and your hip. And see if you can let that foot move around, and imagine there's something on that foot that you don't want to drop. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of exploration over the month of more sort of traditional yoga postures and movement. Today we're just going free. Okay, we're going a little bit more freestyle. We are going to come to a couple of yoga postures and spiral our way into them, but just let this leg move around, lower, higher, like we did when we used the strap a few days ago, and then hug it in towards you. Okay, and then try that on the other leg. So reach up with the other leg, push it away, make circles with your foot. See how this side feels compared to the other side. Not making any like judgments as in better or worse, just a little different. Take that movement into your knee and your ankle and your hip. And imagine you're holding something with that foot and you're trying to not let it fall. Okay, and you're just moving this foot around. So there's no right or wrong, there's not much to see from me doing this, but you can move this around. And then bring your knees toward your chest and make circles and spirals with your knees. And change the directions. I've got a creaky floor underneath me, so you might hear that. And then roll out to one side. Push into the floor and come up to seated position. So we're going to kind of trick our bodies into coming to a couple of postures, right? We're going to come to a posture called Uttanasana, which is just a standing forward fold. And quite often we'll stand up and we'll reach forward and come down into it. But the way we're going to do it today is we're going to look at the foot that's at the front when we sit with our legs crossed, and we're going to travel in the direction of that foot. So when we come to Uttanasana, we'll be facing the other way. So you might want to have a wee look at this, and then have a go at it, and then pause, and then have a go at it, and then pause. So this foot's facing out. We're going to go in the direction of that foot and end up facing the opposite way with our hands on the floor and our foot on the floor. So we kind of just spiraled ourselves around and we'll spiral back down. Okay, so we're back in a cross leg position, Sukhasana, easy posture. And then we look where the front foot is facing and our body spirals in that direction into Uttanasana, okay? And then back down. Okay, which is kind of interesting, but you probably have a way that you sit regularly. So we're going to change and cross legs the opposite way. And we're going to go in the direction of the sole of our foot that's facing out. So we turn and spiral, using our hands to help into Uttanasana on this side. And then we spiral back down, and the same foot's at the front. So we go up and round, and then back and down. Okay, let's try that again. So traveling in the direction of your foot, coming up into Uttanasana, and then back down. Okay. Okay. So once you master that, you might go up and then follow that circle all the way around, so the opposite foot's in front. Okay. So I'll show you from the front. I think that might be the most useful. So I'm going to follow that foot, go all the way up into Uttanasana. Obviously, it's the back of me that's facing the camera, and then we keep going round the same direction. So the other foot's at the front now. Okay, and then we go follow that foot, sole of the foot into Uttanasana, relaxing into that, and spiral back down. Okay. It's a nice way of kind of tricking your body into forgetting about maybe you've got tight hamstrings or uncomfortable hamstrings, and a few people have spoke to me about that. So this might be helpful for that, okay? And then you go all the way around, Uttanasana, follow it round and back down, and the opposite leg will be at the front now. Pretty nice way to move, right? To move this spiral in direction into that. But we're going to try and do it now, and this time we'll come to downward facing dog. So I'll start towards the end of the mat. Okay, I'm going to follow all the way round into downward facing dog. Okay, and then drift it back to this seated position. Okay, this flow may take a little time, so don't be expecting to maybe nail it the first time. So all the way to downward dog. And then see if you can go the opposite way, back. So your other foot's at the front. Okay. And then follow the direction of your foot. Downward dog. And back down. Okay. Good. So try that a few times, trying to like make it flow, make it fluid, make it comfortable. Okay. And then we can take it into a plank if we want, right? So I'll start at this side. We always follow the direction of the foot at the front, where the sole is facing, okay? So into a plank. Okay. And you can either go back the way you came, okay? Or you can go to the plank and come back the opposite way, okay? So the other foot will be at the front. This is quite dynamic. Takes quite a lot of practice and refining, but we're going to try and eventually refine it to do Uttanasana all the way around, Uttanasana the opposite way, all the way around, down dog, all the way around, down dog the opposite way, all the way around, and then a plank and down. So I'm going to do it. You might find that you want to have a look and follow and kind of just try and work out what's going on here, okay? So we start seated position, follow the foot. Uttanasana, all the way around. Okay? Foot's facing out that way. Uttanasana, all the way around. Okay, so we spiral. And then we're going to go for down dog. So the foot's facing this way now. Downward dog. Okay? And all the way around back to seated. Foot's facing this way, downward dog, and all the way around, okay? And then taking it into a plank, foot facing out, to a plank, and all the way around. Foot's facing this way, into plank, and all the way around. See how that feels for you today. It's not like a Simon Says practice where you just look and just go, I'll just follow that and follow that. You're going to have to play with it and work with it on your own, okay? Let's see if we can stand up into horse stance without using our hands too much and make spiraling movements here. Okay, good. We can spiral in movements in the opposite direction. See if you can bring this hand down to the front of your foot and the other hand down to the front of your foot. Okay, and just try that one more time. Front of your foot, front of your foot. Okay, front of your foot, front of your foot, and then do it with the opposite hand. Touching the opposite foot, touching the opposite foot. Opposite foot, opposite foot. Back to the centre. Okay? So you can take this hand and touch the back of your ankle and the back of your ankle. Okay? The back of your ankle and the back of your ankle. Okay? Can you take this hand to the back of your ankle, this hand to the back of your ankle, and then move it around. Okay? Fairly dynamic practice today, so don't worry if you feel your breath is a little compromised. We've got to move our body sometimes, you know. See if you can turn one foot out and come up on the toe of the back foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, go wide and sink down a little bit lower. Inhale, go up. Spiral round to the opposite way. Okay. Inhale, go up. Exhale, go wide and sink your hips. And you go up, come back to the centre, and again move a bit from side to side. Keeping your breath under control as best you can with all this stuff. Good. See if you can step both feet in, give everything a good shake off. Okay. Put your weight on your left foot and let your right foot come up and spiral it around. Okay. So making circles, like you're making petals of a flower around the opposite foot. You're making these petals, spiral and flowers, spiral and flowers, spiral and flowers, all the way around. And then try the other side. Let the weight come on that foot. Make your spiral and petals and flowers, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Good. And when you're ready, bring that back to the centre and see if you can sit down without using your hands. And come to seated position. Okay. So, movement is a skill. Okay. It's not as Simon says. So a lot in today. You might have to play with and refine, okay, and work with on your own, taking your time, okay. I think there's value in all the movements we made today, whether it was the arm movements for your shoulders and then the leg movements, the spinal movements, the moving from side to side. Okay, all these movements, just like trying to free your body and allow your body to become something that's really fun to move and to play with. But again, it's a practice, okay? So whenever you're ready, let your hands rest in a way that feels comfortable for you. Your shoulders relax. And if you found today quite dynamic, it's going to take another few moments for your breath to settle. So try and let your breath settle into a slow flow in and a slow flow out. And whenever you have your breath completely under control, place your right hand on your belly, your left hand on your heart. Let your shoulders relax if there's any resistance in your shoulders. And let your breath be really slow and steady and smooth. Tuck your chin slightly and let everything draw inside, coming away from your senses, your sense of smell, your sense of sound, your sense of touch, taste, heat, and obviously your sight if your eyes are closed. Take your focus internally upon your own body to the area of your heart. Even letting the thoughts of your mind drift and then drift out. And then very slowly introduce some movement to your fingers, to your toes. Shrug your shoulders. Connect your fingertips. Connect the base of your palms. It's good to spiral our bodies, but it's more important to steady our mind. So keep this steadiness of mind with you. Thompson's on the couch. He's licking his paws and licking his legs because we've been out running. So hopefully he's tidying himself up. We did have a shower. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your practice. I hope you are benefiting from these sessions. Please let me know as normal, comments, likes, whatever you need to do just to keep me in the loop of how things are going for you, okay? Otherwise, have a great day. Have a great sleep if you're off to bed. Om Shanti.